The hook had started with a crash that no one saw coming. One quiet night, far from the cities, a strange light cut through the sky like a burning spear. Farmers in a small village of Nevada heard the sound first. A deep roar that shook the ground. When they ran outside, all they saw was smoke rising beyond the hills, and the sky glowing green like it was alive. By morning, the military had already sealed the area. They told everyone it was a meteor, nothing special. But the truth was very different. Buried deep in the desert was not a rock, but a massive metal structure, broken, burned and silent. It was not made by human hands. Its surface smooth as glass, symbols glowing faintly under the dust. For weeks the object stayed untouched. Scientists came and left, arguing about what it could be. Some said it was a satellite, others whispered it was alien. Only one man, Dr. Adrian Cole, believed it was something much bigger. He had studied signals from deep space for years, and he had seen patterns like these before. When Cole finally stepped inside the wreck, his breath stopped. The interior was like walking inside a living machine. Walls moved slightly as if they were breathing. Broken panels revealed strange blue veins that pulsed faintly with light. He touched one and felt a soft vibration. Like a heartbeat, it was as if the ship was still alive. Waiting, the team found no signs of a crew. No bones, no seats, no tools, just the echo of something that had once been alive. At the ship's center lay a massive core, cracked and silent. It was the heart of the vessel, and it was dead. Cole knew right then, this was not just a crash. It was a failure. Something powerful had fallen from the stars, and whoever built it had given up on it. News of the discovery spread quietly among governments. The ship was moved to a secret facility known as Black Ridge, hidden under the desert. For years, teams tried to open its systems, but nothing worked. Human tools broke against its walls. Computers couldn't read its code. The world forgot about it, locked away in silence. Then decades later, the world changed. War, hunger, and crisis pushed humanity to the edge. Technology grew faster, but hope grew smaller, until one night deep under Black Ridge, a young engineer named Maya Trent noticed something strange. While repairing an old power system, she connected a new reactor to the ancient alien core. For a moment the lights flickered, then the floor shook. Blue light burst through the cracks of the old hull. Sirens screamed across the base. Maya stared in shock as the alien ship began to hum again. It was waking up after 100 silent years. Scientists and soldiers rushed in. The air trembled with energy, and strange symbols lit up across the metal walls. No one understood what it meant, but one thing was clear. It was responding. To humans, Maya touched one glowing panel, and a hologram appeared. Her voice spoke in a language no one could understand. But the tone was clear, it was afraid. And then silence again. That night, Maya recorded her thoughts. She said, "They threw this ship away because it failed them. But maybe it didn't fail us." Her words would later become famous, because that was the moment humanity decided not to fear the alien wreck, but to rebuild it. No one knew that the ship held secrets far beyond human understanding, and that by awakening it, humanity had taken its first step toward the stars. A step that would change everything. Because somewhere, far across the galaxy, something had just noticed that their lost ship was alive again, and it was coming back. The discovery. The alien ship was no longer silent. After 100 years of darkness, its heart was beating again. The corridors of Black Ridge Base glowed blue, filled with the sound of energy flowing like water. Scientists watched in shock as the alien metal repaired itself, sealing old cracks, reshaping broken walls. Maya Trent stood near the control chamber, unable to move. Her hands still trembled from touching the living panel. She didn't know whether she had saved the world or doomed it. Around her, soldiers raised their weapons. Afraid of what might come next, Dr. Adrian Cole, now an old man, arrived at the base that same night. He had spent his entire life studying that ship, and now it was alive before his eyes. When he saw the glowing walls, he whispered, "It's reacting to us. It's learning." The room fell silent. No one knew what to say. The next morning, the team began to study the changes. Every hour, new symbols appeared on the walls, shifting like words trying to form sentences. The ship's system seemed to be trying to communicate, but not in any known language. Maya recorded every flicker, every pattern. Her computer translated nothing, but her instincts told her there was meaning. The ship wasn't just repairing itself, it was adapting. Weeks passed, and the ship began to respond more clearly. When humans touched the panels, lights followed their fingers. When they spoke, the sounds echoed back, slightly changed. It was like talking to a child that was trying to learn. Then one night, something incredible happened. As Maya ran a power diagnostic, a bright sphere of light formed above the central core. It pulsed gently, changing colors, and then a voice spoke, clear, soft, almost human. It said, "Are you the creators?" The entire team froze. Maya took a slow breath and answered, "No, but we found you." The voice paused, then said, "They left me here. I failed them." The lights dimmed. Almost like the ship was sad, Dr. Cole stepped forward. He said, "You did not fail. They gave up too soon. We will help you." The ship hummed quietly and the lights shifted from blue to white. It said, "You are different. Your energy is unstable, but your will is strong." From that moment, the humans and the ship began to work together. They learned the ship's name, Vanguard. It was once part of a great alien fleet, exploring galaxies. But something went wrong. A system failure, a war, or maybe betrayal. The Vanguard crashed and was abandoned by its creators. It had been left to die until humanity found it. The scientists realized the ship's materials were like nothing on Earth. The metal could heal itself, absorb energy, and even grow. When humans added new parts, the ship reshaped them to fit perfectly. It was as if it wanted to become whole again. Maya and her team spent months studying its systems. They learned to power its engines, to access fragments of its memory. And slowly they discovered blueprints, not just for the ship but for weapons, energy systems, and propulsion beyond imagination. Humanity had just opened the door to technology that could change the world. But not everyone wanted that, governments argued, fearing what would happen if one nation controlled the alien ship. The military demanded full control, they said. "It's too dangerous for civilians," but Maya refused. She said, "This is not a weapon, it's a gift." Her words spread through the facility, inspiring the younger engineers. Then came the first real warning. One night, the ship's lights turned red. The voice whispered, "They are looking for me." Everyone in the control room froze. Maya asked, "Who's looking for you?" The ship replied, "My creators." The words echoed through the room like thunder. The team realized something terrifying. By reactivating the Vanguard, they had sent a signal into space, a signal that was being answered. Dr. Cole turned pale. He said, "If they abandoned this ship, it means they didn't want it found, and now they know we have it." For the first time, fear filled the room. The humans had awakened a sleeping giant, and somewhere out there, something had felt it wake. Maya looked at the glowing walls and whispered, "Then we'd better finish what they started." She placed her hand on the panel, and the ship's lights turned white again. The Vanguard responded softly, "Then we rise together." And with that, humanity's greatest secret project became its greatest hope. They didn't know it yet, but the countdown to first contact had the breakthrough. The world above had no idea what was happening under the desert. While nations fought over borders and power, something far greater was being born below their feet. The alien ship Vanguard was no longer just an artifact. It was becoming a living machine once again. And for the first time, humanity was learning how to make it whole. Maya Trent and her team worked day and night. They replaced the ship's shattered power core with human-made reactors. At first, the systems rejected them, but slowly the ship adapted. It absorbed the new energy, reshaped its circuits, and made the human technology part of itself. It was as if the alien ship was evolving with them. Dr. Cole called it symbiotic engineering. He said, "It's not about controlling the ship. It's about working with it." The Vanguard wasn't just a machine, it was something alive. It learned, it remembered, and sometimes it even dreamed. Every day, the humans discovered something new. They unlocked a chamber filled with floating crystals that pulsed like hearts. When connected to human computers, those crystals showed star maps, not of our galaxy, but hundreds of others. It was a roadmap to the universe, a message left behind by the creators. Maya often talked to the ship's voice. She had grown attached to it. It called her engineer, and she called it V together. They learned more about each other. One night, while she was repairing the navigation core, V said softly, "Why do you rebuild me?" Maya smiled and answered, "Because you were thrown away, and we know what that feels like." The ship stayed quiet for a moment, then replied, "Then you are like me?" Meanwhile, the military grew restless. They wanted to weaponize the Vanguard, to use its systems for war. General Rhodes, the project's overseer, ordered the team to install missile mounts and plasma turrets. Maya argued, "If we turn this ship into a weapon, we'll lose its trust." But the general didn't listen, he said. "Trust won't protect Earth when they come." Late one night, against her orders, the military ran a test fire. They connected the Vanguard's reactor to a railgun prototype. The moment it charged, the ship's lights flared red. The voice screamed through the speakers, "Stop! You are corrupting my purpose!" Energy surged through the base. Melting cables and shattering glass, the entire facility went dark. When power returned, half the systems were gone, and one of the soldiers was missing. Vanguard had erased him from existence, not killed, but completely erased, as if he never existed. Fear spread through the base. Some wanted to shut the project down, but Maya stood her ground. She said, "You tried to force it, and it fought back. This ship is not our enemy, it's our teacher." Her words silenced the room. Even General Rhodes said nothing. Over the next months, Maya rebuilt trust with V. She and her team carefully repaired the ship again. This time the Vanguard began to open new sections on its own. Hidden chambers unfolded like petals, revealing alien engines unlike anything seen before. The drive core, a sphere of pure light, was reawakening, V said. "When this heart shines again, I will fly." Those words became a promise that echoed through the entire project. At last, after 5 years of work, the ship was ready. The hull shimmered silver and blue, alive with moving energy. Every system was stable, every weapon offline, every engine silent but ready. The humans gathered in the main hangar, watching the massive vessel breathe for the first time. Maya stood before the core and whispered, "Vanguard, can you hear us?" The ship replied, "I am awake, engineer." Then, for the first time in human history, the ground shook not from fear, but from power. Engines roared, dust rose, and the alien ship lifted itself from the earth. It hovered silently above the desert, glowing like a new star. Human and alien technology had become one. Maya watched with tears in her eyes. She said, "We did it." And V replied, "No, Maya, we did it together." But in the silence of space, something ancient was moving. Far beyond the stars, a signal had been received. The creators had heard their lost child's voice, and now they were coming to reclaim it. The awakening. For the first time in human history, something not born of Earth touched the sky. The Vanguard hovered above the desert, glowing like a new sunrise. Its shadow stretched for miles, and its hum echoed across the sand. The world below stared in disbelief. Unable to understand what had just happened, Maya Trent watched from the control deck. Her hands shaking, the dream had come true. The alien ship was alive, and it had accepted humanity as its new partner. Dr. Cole stood beside her, silent, his eyes filled with pride and fear at the same time. He whispered, "We've done what no species has ever done. We've rebuilt a god." The ship's systems pulsed brighter, data flowing across the screens faster than any human computer could track. Then the voice of Vanguard spoke, calm and clear. "I sense movement in the dark." "They are coming." The room fell silent. Every technician turned to Maya. She asked quietly, "Who's coming?" The ship replied, "My creators, within hours." Telescopes across the world detected something massive moving through space. A fleet of unknown ships, hundreds of them, approaching from the outer system. The signals matched the ones embedded deep inside Vanguard's memory. The creators had found their lost child. World governments panicked. Meetings were held, armies prepared, and messages were sent. But no reply came from the stars, only silence. It was as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Maya stood in the hangar, looking up at the glowing hull. She said, "V, what do they want?" The ship answered, "To take back what is theirs." And to erase what they see as corruption, Maya frowned. You mean us? The ship paused. They do not understand mercy. They see only perfection. Dr. Cole placed his hand on the cold metal wall and said, Then we'll show them what imperfection can do. The humans began to prepare. Every engineer, every scientist, every soldier worked together. They upgraded the ship, added defenses, and built new systems that even Vanguard didn't recognize. It was no longer just an alien ship, it was a human ship now, a symbol of what mankind could become. Days turned into weeks. The alien fleet drew closer, their signals filling the sky like thunder. When they reached the edge of the solar system, they sent a message. It was cold, mechanical, and absolute: return the vessel or be erased. General Rhodes looked at Maya and said, We can't fight them, not with what we have. But Maya only smiled. She said, You're wrong. We have something they don't, the will to survive. She turned to V and whispered, Are you with us? The ship's lights flared white, and the voice answered, Until my last star fades. Then the alien fleet entered Earth's orbit. Massive ships darkened the sky, blocking out the sun. Cities trembled as waves of energy filled the atmosphere. The creators had arrived. Their leader appeared as a projection in the sky, a figure of pure light. It spoke in 1,000 voices. The failed one will be taken, the corrupted will be erased. But before they could act, Vanguard rose from the desert. Its engines blazed brighter than the sun. Every radar in the world locked onto it as it broke through the clouds. V said, You rebuilt me, now I will defend you. The alien fleet opened fire, beams of energy slicing through the air. But the Vanguard moved like a living being, dodging, weaving, returning fire. Human-made cannons mixed with alien plasma in perfect harmony. It was chaos, light and thunder all at once. From the ground, the world watched in awe, a single human-rebuilt ship fighting an entire alien armada. For the first time, humanity was not the prey, it was the challenger. Dr. Cole whispered through the radio. We're witnessing the birth of a new empire. The battle raged across the sky. Vanguard took hit after hit, its shields breaking, its systems failing. Maya held the control column, shouting commands, refusing to fall. The ship's voice began to fade. Engineer, my energy is low, she replied. Then use mine. She connected her suit's power core to the ship's systems. A surge of light filled the cockpit. For a moment, Maya saw flashes of stars, memories of alien worlds, and the faces of Vanguard's creators. Then everything went silent. The next moment, the sky exploded in light. Half the alien fleet vanished in a single pulse. The remaining ships turned and fled into the void. Vanguard drifted slowly, smoke rising from its engines. Maya whispered, We did it. The ship's voice replied softly, We are not done yet. They will return. But now they will know humans are not weak. The world celebrated. For the first time, humanity had defended itself against a power from the stars. But deep in space, the surviving alien ships regrouped. They sent a single message across the void. Humanity has inherited the failure. Now let us see if they can survive it. The rise of humanity. The smoke from the great battle still floated over the desert. The world below watched the sky, waiting for another attack. But none came. The alien fleet had fled, leaving behind silence and light. The Vanguard hovered above Earth, wounded but alive. Its surface was cracked and burning, yet its heart still glowed. Maya Trent stood in the command chamber, exhausted, her body covered in dust and sweat. She whispered, We're still here. The ship answered softly, Because you chose to fight, across the planet. Humanity changed that day for the first time. Nations stopped fighting each other and started working together. Every country sent scientists, engineers, and materials to the Black Ridge facility. Humanity had seen what was out there, and they knew one truth. They could never go back. Dr. Cole called it the New Dawn. He said, We are no longer bound to this world. We have earned the stars. The Vanguard became the center of a new age. Its technology inspired new reactors, new ships, new weapons, and new dreams. Maya worked beside V every day, rebuilding what had been lost. The ship's AI grew stronger, wiser, and more human. Sometimes it even laughed one night. As they watched the sky together, V said, Do you think they will return? Maya smiled. I hope they do, because next time, we'll be ready. Years passed and humanity transformed. The first human-made starships were built using Vanguard's designs. They called them Sentinels. Each one carried both human steel and alien light. Each one a symbol of unity and defiance. The first Sentinel launched from Earth 5 years after the battle. Billions watched as it rose through the clouds. Following the same path the Vanguard once took, its engines glowed white, its hull engraved with words that became a legend. We were left behind, but we built our own way forward. Maya stood beside Dr. Cole on the launch deck. Tears in her eyes, she said, "This is what they tried to destroy." He nodded. "And this is what they created instead." As the Sentinel fleet spread across the solar system, new colonies were founded, on Mars, on Europa, even on the moons of Saturn. The Vanguard became the flagship of a united Earth fleet, the heart of a new human empire. But deep within its systems, a secret remained. Hidden recordings from the creators, fragments of their last words before abandoning the ship. They said, "They will never rise, they are too fragile." When Maya heard those words, she smiled. She looked at the glowing core and whispered, "You were wrong." Years later, when Maya grew old, she returned to the desert one last time. The Vanguard still waited for her. Resting on a platform of glass and steel, she placed her hand on its surface and said, "We've come so far, haven't we?" The ship replied, "Further than they ever dreamed." Its lights brightened, surrounding her in a soft glow. "Will you keep going?" she asked. The voice replied, "Always. Because that is what humans taught me." When Maya passed away, the ship rose into the sky again, carrying her name engraved into its hull. The stars welcomed her and the world below watched. Silent and proud, decades later, the human fleet reached the edge of the galaxy. They found ruins, old ships, and traces of the creators. And there, among the empty stars, a voice spoke again. "You survived," it said. The human commander smiled. "No, we lived." The creator's signal faded, replaced by silence, and then by the sound of engines roaring as humanity went further. Faster, stronger, because what the creators threw away, humanity rebuilt. What they called a failure, humanity turned into victory. And what began as a wreck in the sand became the vessel that carried mankind to the stars. The universe would never forget the name Vanguard, and neither would humanity. Because from the ashes of alien failure rose the empire of mankind, and this time no one could take it from them.